Hello everyone, Matt here, and today I want to go over a couple very important things. As far as me and my company, we trade pretty much everything. We trade stocks, futures, forex, crypto, and we do some DeFi. So I wanted to talk about we've been seeing a lot of hype around the markets, around Bitcoin, around crypto, and we do have elections coming up literally tomorrow. It's going to be very interesting. One candidate is pro crypto, the other candidate is going after crypto. It's pretty obvious who those differences are, but if you don't know, Donald Trump is pro crypto. Kamala Harris, especially with the Harris-Biden administration, are going after crypto. There's a quote, "Watch what people do, not what they say," and that is all I'm going to say on that topic. But if you want to know how someone's going to act and how they are going to act in the future, look at how they've acted in the past. That's really a good gauge. You know, they say 60% of what we say with our body language, and that's why you look at what people do, not really what they say. You know, so that's one very important thing. I wanted to look at this chart just because we've been seeing a whole lot of things around crypto, and some people were selling everything, some people were buying everything. You know, there's usually a very different aspect of that, you know, because that's what trading is all about. Trading, buy and sell, get out of stuff. But anyway, I want to look at the total market cap of crypto. This is a weekly chart, and this is global liquidity in US dollars. Now, if you look at this, you see over here, the total market cap did make a high and global liquidity kept moving higher. And that was early in Bitcoin's infancy. So it was the high around January of 2018. And then you just had a lot of chop, but global liquidity stayed pretty high. And then you had Bitcoin just take off, and global liquidity made a high right above this high here, which was May of 21. And you can see it never really went down. I mean, it never went below, you know, negative numbers here. It did come back up, make another high, come down. And then over here is the first time it went negative. Well, basically the low of Bitcoin, the low of the total market cap. And then it started to come up, and price just rode that wave. And now you're seeing it pop up again. And now Bitcoin, is it going to do the same thing it did over here? When liquidity came up, it started to ride that wave, and then, you know, liquidity did start to come down a little bit. But just like global liquidity, foreign exchange, you know, stocks, like companies, can move fairly quickly. You know, they're doing good for a couple years and then they just do terrible. A country changes a lot less than a company because a country's huge. Global liquidity changes even slower, and that's, you know, why you saw this. Liquidity started to come up and price took off, and, you know, even the liquidity did make a high prior to that, there was so much momentum. Total market cap still made a high and then came back and made another high before it came down. So just a very interesting chart that I did want to point out. Maybe it means something, maybe it doesn't. And then this week is going to be very interesting. Like I said, there's a lot of news. There's going to be a lot of volatility this week. And volatility is a trader's best friend. If you're in DeFi, volatility is your best friend. I love volatility. I don't want to say I live for it, because, you know, trading's not the only thing I do, but I do really enjoy it. It's a puzzle that every day you have to put together. But on Tuesday, we have presidential elections, ISM services PMI, and congressional elections. All that's going to play together. We did have daylight savings time, so extra hour. That's pretty cool. And that's why I get to record this video. I have extra time. Unemployment claims on Thursday. And also on Thursday, you have FOMC, which is weird to be on a Thursday, but it is what it is. Federal funds rate, FOMC statement, and press conference. So that'll be very, very interesting there. We'll see how that plays out. But I am looking for a lot of volatility. I think this week's going to be a ton of fun. And another chart that I do want to show is the S&P cash in gold terms. So if you look at excuse me, S&P in gold terms, it's really not done much. You had the 2020 COVID crash, market came up, and since then it's really gone sideways. Whereas if you look at it in dollar terms, let me pull up the futures contract. Oh, I do have a lot of written on there too. Well, it is what it is. But anyway, you can see this was the COVID crash, price came up and then just kept coming up, which is very, very interesting. So that's really the big difference there. Let me show this one more time. SPX in gold, it's just gone straight sideways. Very, very interesting. And then S&P to Bitcoin is even worse. So very interesting charts. I did want to highlight that a little bit. And now let's pop over to Bitcoin. Let's talk about what I'm looking at, where we can see this market go to. I'm going to pop back down to an hourly chart. Okay, guys, now that we're here on Bitcoin, I went out to a daily chart. And I'm going to talk about a couple things that I am seeing. So I have really two things that I'm watching. One of them is a 1, 2, 3, and 4 I'm looking at as having been finished. And if price isn't done with the correction, then I think 4 is null and void. Just because it's gotten so long. But that's one expectation, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an eventual 5. Does it end here? Does it end a little higher? We'll have to wait and see. I do have that this move down was an A and this move up is a B. It's a little high, but it is what it is, which would mean C would be a little higher. I don't think C will come back down here anymore. If C does happen, then it's probably going to be right here, something like this. This would be the blue W, an X, and then a Y comes down. So if this is a B wave, which is not my primary outlook, but it is something still to talk about because it is valid, then that's what I'm looking for. Now, if this is going to be bullish, which is my primary expectation, let's talk about it. So let me zoom in here. And this is on the hourly chart, which is, fine. I'm probably going to have to zoom out a little more. Let's go to a 4 hour, just so I can show my screen over here to the right. And this is what I'm looking for. This is a wave 1 up, 2 down, then we get a 3, and then a 4, and then a 5. And that's what I would be looking for. In Discord, I've already talked about, I really don't want to see price take out 59,000. I'd like to see it stay up here. As you can see, I have an A, a B, and a C already. So this is starting out correctively. And that's why I really have an X up here, just because I do feel if it's going to drop, it's going to do so in a corrective manner. However, I really don't see that happening. And I think that tomorrow's election is really going to play a huge role in what is most likely going to happen. I feel that if Donald Trump wins, he's more pro-crypto. I think all of crypto has this bull market after he wins. I feel if Kamala Harris wins, however, there's going to be some selling. People don't like it. She's raising everybody's taxes. She's very anti-crypto, just like everyone else has been. I've heard, people say that she's not really good friends with Elizabeth Warren, who's anti-crypto. However, there's a lot of other people in the Democratic Party who is anti-crypto. Joe Biden's been anti-crypto, or whoever's running his presidency is anti-crypto. There's a lot of people on that side who are anti-crypto. Just because when you have an established presence and you're making money a certain way, most people don't want to change. They don't want to change that. And crypto kind of throws it on its head, right? And DeFi right now, I can make 1,000% a day. It's pretty wild. Consistently over 200% a day. Well, per year is what I meant to say. Make 1,000% per year, 200% per year, which is really, really, really good. You put your money in a bank, you might make 0.5%. Maybe in a CD, maybe you make 4% if you're lucky. But that is kind of what crypto gives us. And having a president who's pro crypto means that good things will happen in the crypto industry. I feel that if Trump gets elected, we get crypto regulation, things look really good. If Harris gets elected, that regulation for crypto now, Bitcoin's going to do well. You have the Bitcoin ETF, you have Ethereum. I think those two will do well, but the altcoins will start to suffer, and especially the ones that do rewards. That's my 3.14 cents on that topic. But anyway, these are my two outlooks for Bitcoin. There's a couple other aspects to it. I talked about this 1 2 1 2 1 2 count. I talked about that many weeks ago as a possibility, and it's not my primary outlook, but it is possible. What would you want to see in that? You don't want to see a break of 59,000. In this diagonal, 1 2 3 4 and a 5, I don't want to see a break 59,000. It can break it and still go up in a 5 and still be a diagonal. It would be an expanding diagonal. It's just not really my primary outlook, but I'm just trying to give you everything that can work. And you don't want to see it break this low right here, which is around 52.5, 52.5. Let's see if I can get the legit one. 52.546. So 52.546K, that's what you don't want to see it take out. So as long as it holds that, it can still put it in expanding diagonal. However, I think it looks much better if it stays over that 59K and ideally over 66,500. Ideally over that. So we'll see what actually does play out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do think that 4 comes, depending on the volatility of tomorrow's election, it can chop around a lot. It's hard to really, predict what will happen, but I'm sticking with, I want to see price stay over that 59K mark. I think if it does pop down in the low 60s, it's going to do so quick, I believe. It'll come down and come right back up. That's what I would like to see optimally, just because, we know volatility is going to come. We know things are going to happen in the markets. And really the main question is, what's the most likely scenario? So that's really what I'm paying attention to. Getting over here to risk assets, you did have the dollar pop up a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, it is heading lower. You can see this is my chart. We did see the end of a correction here, but it's still inside of this big correction that it's been in, which is fine. And you would expect that during times of volatility. If we come down here to the VIX, let's go out here to a weekly chart. And, this is pretty much what you have. And this is what is expected. This was on Monday, August 5th. Then you had, in March, you had a lot of volatility. And I would be shocked if tomorrow happened and the VIX didn't get over 35. Just because it's such a volatile day. Yeah, I do expect more volatility, which should be fun. If you're a trader or if you're in DeFi, I think both of those would be a lot of fun. So anyway, that is really my expectation for Bitcoin, what I'm looking at for volatility, and what I'm looking at going forward. So hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you have any questions, you can always post comments down below, and if you want to join the private Discord, it is also linked down below as well. With that, have an awesome rest of your day. I'll see you around the markets. Take care.